This is the College Football Connection podcast with Marty Jenkins and Alvin Reed on 101 ESPN.
Well, it turns out there is more than a snowball's chance of getting back to that 10-win threshold in 2024. Greetings, everyone, and welcome into your latest edition of the College Football Connection instant analysis on the heels of the regular season finale at Faurot Field for the Missouri Tigers. I am Bradford Bruns with you exclusively on the 101 ESPN YouTube channel plus 101ESPN.com. If you were up in the later hours yesterday, last night, perhaps you were tuned in to 101ESPN.com for our recap right after the fact at Faurot Field. It was 28 for MU, 21 for visiting Arkansas in the latest installment of the Battle Line rivalry there in mid-Missouri. And clearly this one was unlike any of the previous iterations you may have witnessed since MU entered the SEC a decade plus ago and really has been able to run roughshod over the Hogs in this particular series. Well before kickoff, well before 2:30, making my way personally into town, into mid-Missouri, dealing with the various elements. My family was on hand, was really happy to be able to bring everybody along. And at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it wasn't exactly arduous to even enter the stadium, that is. You had multiple inches of snow already on the ground, and you had been tracking, of course, the weather forecasts and the predictions throughout the course of the week. But the total accumulation that was there on the ground certainly exceeded what anybody would have anticipated entering this contest. And yet, the individuals responsible for somehow making the playing surface at all tolerable. What an incredible job by all parties concerned leading up to the pregame senior day festivities just before 2:30. 27 different student athletes recognized and honored, then meeting their respective family members at about the 35-yard line. Wouldn't you know it, we were essentially ready for play at 2:35 p.m. And as you would have expected for this game, with that surface still in question, no doubt about it, it certainly influenced the way in which this game was played, the way in which it was called for the Missouri Tigers. Kirby Moore, from the outset, you understood, scaling back the playbook, understanding what was there for the taking and what was not. Arkansas, similarly, even though the Razorbacks did make more of a concerted effort to work outside of the numbers, it was a short to intermediate style of game. It was always going to be that case in Columbia yesterday. It's 7-7 at halftime. Brady Cook is not able to do a lot as far as mustering, being able to really prolong the momentum, prolong a lot of drives. By the same token, you are there in the game. You finish the first half by basically going into a bit of a shell, though, and waiting to get possession to begin quarter number 3. And that's where it got very interesting, because Eli Drinkwitz, after the game in the media room, he confessed, he admitted straight up, it was really an atrocity, the manner in which the opening drive of half number 2 played out for Mizzou. A 3-and-out, yielding the ball to Arkansas, and then boom, with a snap of the fingers like that, the Razorbacks marched down the field, really pounded down the throat of MU's collective defense, which had been sterling up until that point and certainly had its moments down the stretch. But the running game for Arkansas yesterday, we'll get to the MU contributors in the backfield as we go along here on the College Football Connection. But Jackson showed you everything, demonstrated all of the traits really befitting his status as one of the top backs in the SEC. He went off for 3 scores on the ground all told, and so MU had another comeback there. If it wanted to get to 9 victories, if it wanted to still be pushing for 10 victories overall in 2024, you needed some more late-game Faurot Field magic to transpire, and that's precisely what it did. Not to be overlooked in this tilt either, the freshman place kicker on an afternoon turning into the evening reserved for being able to honor and recognize the upperclassmen. Craig nailing 2 field goals to keep matters close going into the fourth quarter was absolutely paramount to the efforts. And then the offense, which had been held down, which had been really held up by the efforts specifically of Marcus Carroll as yesterday's primary tailback, to wit, in the second half alone, Carroll, who ultimately ended up with 2 more rushing touchdowns on the day to push his season total to 11. He had 15 touches in the second half, 15 of his 22 carries, and this was a north-south game, make no mistake about it. Nate Noel has been tremendous coming out of the backfield for MU all season long, but the east-west wiggle, this was not exactly the opportune occasion for as much. MU was able to ride Carroll to excess, Jamal Roberts chipping in as well, and then down the stretch, Brady Cook, you knew that he would take every opportunity in his farewell to Faurot Field, the playing surface that is, as a senior signal caller. He was going to take each and every opportunity, seize it, to use his legs and use that mobility as well a few weeks out after the high ankle sprain. And surely enough, Moore was able to give more and more opportunities to Cook. This game is going down to the final stanza once more. Arkansas is able to gain that edge. It's 21-20. You have 4 minutes, Cook and company, with which to work. What are you going to do? Can you muster another climactic drive? Well, with about 2 minutes and change remaining, the play call comes in as Brady Cook has the quarterback draw. The keeper, he sees the middle of the field. He gets into that second level, just scampering all the way, puts it in. Is there perhaps a more poetic way to conclude your time at the university than that, with a 2-point conversion also executed after the fact to Luther Burden III? Nonetheless, the defense had to hold, and certainly highlighted by the efforts of Johnny Walker Jr. coming off of the edge and wreaking havoc for the entirety, really, of the afternoon against Taylon Green and Arkansas. He may not have gotten home on a number of different occasions, but applying the constant pressure and forcing Green to be able to make off-platform throws. To his credit, the Razorbacks quarterback able to accomplish precisely that. Some of those catches made by Armstrong on the last drive for Arkansas, moving inside of 2 minutes, moving past the 50-yard line and into Missouri territory. Was it going to be another heart-wrenching defeat a la South Carolina in the waning moments a few weeks ago? Not whatsoever. Not when you had so many different individuals there in the stands being able to create and engender that additional form of momentum, excitement, and enthusiasm. Missouri is able to hold as the final seconds tick off of the clock. Battle line rivalry 2024 goes to MU, and moments later, all of the different individuals, the participants, going over to the hill, going over to the rocks, and picking out their individual selections, as is tradition, as is custom for MU when you're able to send off the seniors with a victory, as was the case yesterday. Bradford Bruns with you here on the College Football Connection Instant Analysis Edition for the regular season finale for Missouri. So MU, of course, knocking off Arkansas one more time, and now with the 9 victories, a real legitimate shot at 10 if you're able, of course, to seal that bowl triumph as well. We don't know when that's going to happen. We don't even know what the matchup is, where the destination is going to be. That will be unveiled, of course, after next weekend's championship set of affairs. But this is a rivalry in the minds of many different people associated with the MU program, of course, and none more so than the head coach himself, Eli Drinkwitz. Yesterday, he was more muted, I felt, than usual as far as assessing and just taking stock of the moment, living in it, and being able to process all of the different sentiments that go along with basically saying farewell to a senior class, the first complete group moving through now, those who came in under Eli Drinkwitz. So many of the players who followed him to the podium absolutely were able to attribute the culture change within the walls there at Memorial Stadium to one Eli Drinkwitz. But he's an Arkansas native at the end of the day, so there is that natural sense of rivalry and trying to fester more and more emotion associated with this affair. So he did take the chance, when given, being able to assess what it was like to beat Arkansas yet again. It became a heated affair down the stretch. Take a little bit of a listen as to what Drink had to say along those lines.
It's growing, I'd say. For them not thinking they were much of a rival, they sure do. It sure is growing a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a better part of 2 hours on sports radio getting after me because I mispronounced the quarterback's name, which was, and like I told Taylon Green, like that was me being genuine. I literally didn't mean anything. He's a heck of a player. He's a great player, great quarterback, and by no means was I being disrespectful to him. So, I think a lot of it, there's a lot of people that don't like me down in that state for whatever reason, which is good. I mean, it builds the rivalry, which is good. We need this. And it was chippy out there tonight, but I hope they all understand there's a lot of mutual respect. I respect the crud out of Arkansas and their program and what they've built. And Coach Pittman, it was sad that he couldn't be out there tonight because of his hip, but I really respect the way his team fought. He's got great coordinators. He's got great players. They've done a really good job this year, and got a lot of respect for those guys. I mean, Armstrong's a heck of a player. That play that Taylon Green made and that throw he made to Austin Armstrong on that 4th down was wow. I mean, that was right in front of me. The throw and the catch were unbelievable, but at the end of the day, our will to win was strong.
Yeah, at the end of the evening, you look at everything, you assess the different figures in the box score, all of the statistics, and it's a moot point when you try to reconcile or recognize that Arkansas, all told, had 377 yards and was able to outgain MU in that department. Arkansas had the 23 first downs, but when you really assess everything that came to pass, it came down to ball security, of which Mizzou was certainly astute, adept once more. This is a team, for all of its failings, moderately speaking, this season, and lapses, particularly in wrapping up and so forth. Yesterday, that was not the case at all. Sublime technique exercised by anybody and everybody on that side of the ball defensively for MU, and then forcing 3 fumbles, 2 of which were recovered by the Tigers. Momentum changing moments there, no doubt about it. MU put the ball on the turf just once, did not lose that either, and then also forcing Arkansas early in the first half to go 3 and out. Technique, fundamentals on full display from MU yesterday. A little bit of that rivalry never hurts to ramp things up in that department, and now we sit and we wait to see exactly the bow that we're going to put on the 2024 season. Still a season that has now produced an undefeated home record, the first time ever, as a matter of fact, that Missouri has been able to put together a 7-0 record at home. Unprecedented stuff. Highly impressive, and we're going to get to you later on the week as we go along here on the College Football Connection. More of that senior day audio from Brady Cook, from Theo Weiss. We are encapsulating everything as we go down to the wire with Tigers football, and it has been a joy to cover as much for you in 2024. Bradford Bruns reminding you one more time, if you want to come back, check in later in the week. My guys, Marty and Alvin, they will be back in studio here in Creve Coeur. We're going to take a look at the overall picture. Nationwide championship weekend is right around the bend. It is on the horizon, and if it is anything like what we saw yesterday materializing across campuses all around the land, boy, is it going to be something to behold. Signing off, though, for now. Have a great rest of the weekend, and until next time, take care. Let the senior QB take you home.
12-year-old me, I don't think he would believe. I don't believe it. I really don't. I think it's just a testament to wanting something, believing in something, seeing a vision really early on, and just sticking to it. Tough times, adversity, questioning yourself, self-doubt, all of that, it all comes into play. And just finding a way to work through it. I'm proud of myself, proud of that little boy that had a dream.
You've been listening to the College Football Connection podcast with Marty Jenkins and Alvin Reed on 101 ESPN Sports Talk for St. Louis.